What's up guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we'll be going into the details of sculpting. So I'm currently on a sculpting section of Blender, but you are probably on the general. So I'm not going to save this one and go into general. With this general layout, we don't have the sculpting section here, but we can go into sculpt mode on the side and sculpt in this little area. With a cube, you can't really see the details of sculpting, so I'm just going to quickly add a sphere. Then if I go into sculpt mode, I can do a bit more editing and move it around. You can also go into the sculpting tab above and just do a bit of sculpting, but I'm going to show you another way. And if we click file new, we can see that there is a sculpting section of Blender that's not a tab, it's just a file itself. So if we click that, I'm not going to save this original one, and this is where we were at the start. So you can see it doesn't look like anything's changing, but actually if we put like a little dot there, it is changing. So we can do all these cool sculpting things, but if we go into object mode here, or even edit mode, we can see that there are tons of different objects and different sort of areas that we can move, and there are a huge amount of vertices in this. So in the usual one we wouldn't have as much vertices. If we go back into sculpt mode, we can do a bit of sculpting, and I'll go through these now. So if I just go back and create the circle, we can see this first one is draw. It will show you the shortcut if you lean over it for a while, and if we click on draw, then we can move around and we can actually draw on the object. If you're not sure what happens, you can just come over here and it will show you the brushes. So it's sculpting, you can show the radius so you can increase it, but a quick way to increase the radius is just click F, and you can make it smaller, you can make it huge, you can make it teeny, and then you can have the strength very high, so it's more moving and, well, strength. But if we go into here and do a bit of drawing, we can see that we kind of just create extra geometry in this object. Next one is draw sharp. So this one's pretty much a sharper version of the draw, but it digs in instead of digging out. So you'll see it just pushing in of the object. So the next tool is this. It's clay. If we move this around, it looks very similar to the I haven't clicked it. If we move this around, it looks very similar to the draw, but slightly bigger, and that's just because it's sort of laying some clay extra geometry. The next one is clay strips. I use this a lot for noses or extra geometry that I need to model. So the clay strips is literally just strips of clay that will join on. The next one is clay thumb. If we move this round, it sort of just moves the clay with it. It looks very cool. The next one is layer. The layer is very similar to the draw tool and very similar to the clay strips too, but it sort of adds extra geometry at a different size. The next one is inflate. This is just where you can inflate a small part of the geometry, so very similar to a large draw tool. Now you also use this for like noses or ears or something like this. This is blob. Blob is very similar to the inflate tool, but it comes up with more blobs. Crease is where the two sort of joined together. You could use this for like wrinkles or different things like that. The next one is smooth. Smooth is just where if you have some extra geometry that you think, oh, it doesn't look as nice, you can just smooth it down. Just like in this area here, it's all muddy and like or disgusting, but they've smoothed it out and they were able to just make it look really smooth and really cool. The next one is flatten. Flatten is just where you can flatten an area like this. So I'm just going to go in here, or I can do huge if I don't want to stick around for like ages. Then if we go here, you can see it's slightly flattened. Next one is fill. Oh, I'm just going to click F to make this a bit smaller. So with this fill tool, it sort of fills if you have a where did that go? Here. If you have that, you can sort of fill it in so that it's smooth, and then you could go to the smooth tool and just smooth it down. So the next we can do is scrape. Scrape is where you just push things like here. There may be lines and you can just push it smooth. So that I don't really have any lines to show, so it won't do that much. So we'll just go on to the next. I'm going to skip these, a few of these because they aren't going to be very useful. This is sort of a pinch and you can see how it works here. This is one we should have covered, but this is a multi-plane scrape, so very similar to the scrape, but it does it on different sort of planes. So you can see it's pretty cool if you want to make signs or symbols, and it looks like individual blocks as you do it. This is the grab tool. I use this a lot, and like you can see here, you can just grab a bit and push it out. The next is an elastic deform. You can pull it out and then stretch it, sort of like elastic, like I said before. Then this one is a snake hook. It sort of twists around as you pull it. See, it just leaves some geometry when you move it. Next is a thumb. It's very similar. I use this a lot on noses because this is pretty flat, and then this is sort of a curved area. Then this is pose. You can just pose different things and move them around a bit so they look really cool. This is sort of a circle that you can just move inside. Next is a nudge, sort of like this. You can just move stuff around. It's like on the paint, you're just smudging it in. This is a rotate, where you can just rotate the thing inside. I just want to cover one more, which is box mask. So it's with this box mask, if there's a thing that you want to keep the same, but you want to move everything around it, you can just box mask it, and it's all black. You can see that the area has been copied here. So if I just do the teeniest box, it will be copied to around here. See, and it's been copied this to the other side as well, so here, and this down below. So if we just kill invert, everything else will be selected. So if you're not quite sure how to get rid of this, a quick way to do it is just go all, just cover all of it. Yep, so it's all covered. Then go curl I, and you've inverted it all, so it's all of it is able to move. So if I go into edit mode and just G, all of it can move. Then if we go back into sculpting mode, we can go on all of these. You can see the small tools are still around, and this annotate box, you can just annotate it around, just draw sort of around it. If we go into object mode, the box will be here too. So if we go to Y, we could be like drawing around, but on sculpt mode it doesn't really show it because we're on sculpting mode, not anything else. This looks like some sort of goblin with the eyes here and the mouth and the nose. So if we go back into sculpting mode, we can smooth all this down, inflate bits, effects. It's very easy to do, and make sure you use these all in your own blenders, because maybe you want to sculpt some metaballs or animate some metaballs and then sculpt them so it looks like a caterpillar's moving, or some other ideas like that. So make sure you like and subscribe these videos and to my channel, because there'll be a lot of videos coming out, and I hope that you'll be able to watch them all. So I will see you in the next video. Bye.